We're going to show you how to run a Euclid Studio flow from the Euclid Studio REST API. Information on the REST API can be found on the Euclid Studio Wiki. A link to the wiki will be included on this page. Once you get to the wiki, navigate to the REST API section and you'll be presented with this page. This goes into details about the parameters that you can use to call the Euclid Studio flow, and you have an example down here below. Today we're really just going to be focused on some of these required parameters in our example. We just have a basic flow to call. So let's navigate over to the flow that we're going to call. And today we'll be using the Insomnia REST API client. You can use anything like this, Postman, or any way in which you want to call the REST API. These parameters will translate to any of those tools. So the first thing we want to do is make sure that we have our URL set properly. It's essentially the address to your Euclid Studio server, and then you're just going to append a /API so that we can communicate directly with that API. We're going to be using post as our method. Down here we're going to set our header. Make sure you have content type set to application JSON. JSON is what we're using for our body here. And you can see I've already kind of filled this out with some parameters I want to use, the flow file and the run profile. I don't need to put the notifications or run async in here, but as you can see I can, and these are set to their default values. I will point out with run async how this works. So with run async set to false, when I execute this command, I actually won't get a response back from the server until the flow has done all of its work. If it errored, it will give me error information, as you can see over here in this exception info section, or if it completes, it will give me the message that say it completed. Either way, it's going to wait. If I set this to true, I could fire off the command and then the server would respond immediately saying that the job is scheduled to run right now, or there was an issue scheduling the job to run. So two different ways you can call it depending on how you want to use it. But we are all set up to run this flow. So I'm going to go ahead and click send here to send the request. We'll notice that Euclid Studio in the background is running this job as it updated here. And we can see that the flow completed. And we got our response down here. We have the flow file that ran, the run profile, echoing back all of that information, including the default for the timeout seconds, which is 1 day. This is just expressed in seconds. So there we go. That's how you call a Euclid Studio flow from the REST API.